Francis Ngannou is a big name himself. And Muhammad Ali did the same thing when he was lineal champion against a Japanese fella. I remember it very well. So he's doing nothing wrong. And at the end of the day, he's been a long time out the ring, and it's a walk to the ring. It's a great evening in a great country of Saudi and Riyadh. It should be a spectacle. And I'm looking forward to it, to be honest.
You mentioned, obviously, it'll be a very different sort of opponent. What are your thoughts on Francis as a challenger? I don't know if you've watched any of his past UFC and MMA fights in general. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, he's a big, strong lad, isn't he? And, it's a, what can you say? It's just a crossover fun fight, isn't it? It's a fun affair. You know what I'm saying? It's a different world from defending his WBC title and all that kind of thing. But listen, it's what people want. It brings eyes to screens, and it puts bums on seats. So if that's what it does, that's the name of the game. It's a business again. It's a money-making business. And you know what? It's great for both boys. He's getting well paid, Francis Ngannou. Probably his career best, highest payday. And like I say, Tyson, he's doing something he enjoys doing, crossing over.
With this fight, I believe there's sort of a lot of questions being asked in terms of, is it going to go on either of their professional records? Do you know?
I've no idea. I've not looked into it. That's not my business. That's down to the legal team. But I've no idea. All I know he's fighting him. He knows about as much as me, and all I can say really, it's a good move for both boys, isn't it? Like I say, it's a breath of fresh air. Let him do something different, isn't it? He can always come back and defend his WBC title when people's free. At the minute, all the top 3 or 4's tied up anyway. Ruiz wanted too much money. He beat Wilder 3 times already, so nobody wants to see that. Usyk didn't want it at all. He scarpered to Saudi Arabia. And Joshua don't want to fight either. So what can Tyson do? He's not going to sit on his hands, is he? And he's not getting no younger. He's 35 in August. So I think he's doing the right thing. He's having a bit of fun this time. It's all about fun and games. He's having it this time. And good luck to him. Fair play.
Those are the words of John Fury as he defends his son, obviously, for fighting Francis Ngannou. Now, him stating that he didn't really have anyone to fight, that's absolute malarkey. Why do I say that? Because you have guys like Otto Wallin that's been wanting to fight Tyson Fury for the last 4 years after he fought him the first time. And that's when Otto Wallin was undefeated. And he was a guy that was supposed to be an easy pick'ems, and that almost ended in a disaster. You also, Ruiz, we still don't know how much money Ruiz asked for, but he did say he doesn't know where he got that $20 million offer for. So that lie is still up in the air on either side or the other, because we don't know who was lying. And fighting someone like Derek Chisora last year was a complete waste of time, okay? And so is this. So you give us Derek Chisora, and that's the trilogy fight, but we can't have a rematch with Otto Wallin. Listen, there were a lot of people that would have fought Tyson Fury. It's just Tyson Fury didn't want a lot of tougher opponents. He wanted someone easy, like he always does. He wants a tune-up from another tune-up, okay? Dillian White's supposed to have been a tune-up in April, okay? That's why he didn't fight Usyk early part of last year, because of the step-aside money, the issue with Dillian and Anthony Joshua. Remember that? So that was before the Dillian White fight was even made. He was supposed to fight Usyk because Usyk beat Joshua, and that's the reason why Tyson Fury came back to the sport. Okay, so then he decided, I need a tune-up, so he did fight his mandatory Dillian White. He knocks out Dillian White in the 6th round. Then he waits all year long after he retires. Joshua gets beat by Usyk. Then Usyk calls out Tyson to bring him back to the platform of boxing. Then he calls out Alexander Usyk, but then he fights Derek Chisora with a injury, because he mentioned that injury after that fight, okay? Or was it before that fight? I can't really remember right now, but he did state he had an injury. Okay, so from the injury of late 2022 in the early part of this 2023, a Cold War type negotiation style started with Tyson and Alexander Usyk. Okay, and it wasn't until this man, John Fury, came forth and said, hey, Tyson Fury needs 70%, and the other 30 goes to Usyk because Usyk isn't worth anything more than that. And then that's when the ball really start rolling, because that's when Usyk agreed to the 30%, but then still nothing got made. Okay. Then after that, they called out Anthony Joshua after he fought and defeated Jermaine Franklin. Okay. So that was in the air. Nothing happened with that. I don't know. I don't know if Joshua decided not to for whatever reason. And Tyson Fury was going to wait for Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce and Zhang. Zhang upset Joe Joyce, and then now they're fighting again. So none of those guys could be an opponents. But we had Andy Ruiz, we had Otto Vailene, and you still don't know what it is. I think what Tyson Fury was looking at is business. Tyson Fury knew fighting Otto Vailene would probably be a tough fight, but then it wouldn't generate the amount of money that he would want. Okay. The same possibly for Ruiz, because let's face it, who has knocked out Ruiz? No one. Okay, so you still got probably another 12-round tough fight on your hands. But Francis Ngannou, a guy that has never fought a day of boxing in his life, but comes from the UFC, brings a lot of UFC fans. That's why Tyson did it. So Tyson is looking for the easiest payday, the biggest payday, for a low risk. It's not for the WBC. It's not a title sanctioning fight. It's more like the Mayweather-McGregor fight. That's what it's about. Okay, so I think if anything, I feel that Tyson Fury fighting Francis Ngannou, it's a waste of time, but it's a payday. It's a big payday, and that's what Tyson Fury's looking for. Let's just face it. And other than that, though, to say that there was nobody else available, again, let's stop the cap, because there were other fighters available. He just didn't want to fight other fighters. Okay. Tyson Fury likes to take breaks after breaks after breaks, and I do believe that Tyson Fury is a guy that does believe in fighting the easiest opponents for the most money, okay, the most greenbacks. So if anything, John Fury's calling Francis Ngannou an absolute monster. Yeah, he is, and he is in his own right when it comes to UFC. But boxing, he may be out of sorts, and I think Tyson Fury will play with that fight. But of course, you heard John Fury say it best: Tyson Fury just wants to play. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this counterpunch from John Fury on Francis Ngannou versus his son Tyson Fury. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunching. Peace.